In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. We have 11 games tonight after just a 2-game slate yesterday that kind of got crazier with LeBron James getting ruled out. Didn't think LeBron would miss a primetime game against Philly, but I guess that knee was really bothering him, so we'll see if he's able to play today or not. Frank Vogel said he doesn't know his status, and he doesn't know Davis's status, who went to the locker room as usual last game, but ended up still coming back and having a great game. And he was super low owned. But going ahead and looking at today's slate, let's get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Yesterday, played Davis on both sites, but missed out on Draftkings, hit on Fanduel. So see if we can get both of the money today. Fanduel's been a lot better over the last couple of days than Draftkings. Looking at the point guard picks today, we have a couple of guys above 10,000, like DeJounte Murray is 10K flat. You have Ja Morant's been playing out of his mind. He just got named an all-star starter in the West. Well-deserved. He's led the Grizzlies with them missing so many guys with injuries at different points. He's been just making plays all year. He's been super aggressive with the shots, getting to the basket, making like 28, 31, 26, 27, just crazy high usage rates for Ja Morant. Going up against Utah, it's at home, so much better spot. Devin Booker's been on another level. They're missing some bodies, and Booker's benefited with the extra usage and the extra minutes. Missing their backup point guard campaign. They're missing Crowder. They're missing Ayton. So the rotation has gotten a little bit smaller, and Devin Booker's been making the most of it with taking a ton of shots, playing huge minutes, and getting more of peripherals like rebounding and even getting some defensive stats. So even though the 10K price tag does look high for him, he still is in play. Other picks that you could look to, LeVert was in heavy foul trouble, which was very frustrating. 5 fouls for him in just 20 minutes. He was good point per minute wise. It was a good matchup against Charlotte, just couldn't stay out there, and they got blown out big time. But maybe if he was able to play and not be on the bench, could have kept it a bit closer. But that was really frustrating with him getting into heavy foul trouble, which normally you don't expect a guard to do that. LaMelo Ball coming off of another triple-double, his 5th of the season, or 5th of the career. Looks good against the Lakers. They don't play good defense on a back-to-back. They could be missing Kelly Oubre as well. So even though he might be popular today, I still like LaMelo Ball. In the 7K range, you have CJ McCollum going up against Houston. Any team going up against Houston, you're going to want to have some interest. They give up the most points in the league. They play terrible defense. They turn the ball over at high clip. We've seen a lot of game stacks going up against Houston just win people a lot of money and win tournaments. Don't think today would be any exception. Kobe White's a fade, Conley's a fade, Clarkson's a fade, especially if Mitchell comes back, which it does look like he might. Cole Anthony coming off of a good game is viable against Detroit, but we'll see. His price tag did come up a little bit. I like the $6,400 range with Kevin Porter Jr. Going up against Portland is also a good matchup. You have 2 of the bottom 3 defensive teams in the league. KPJ's been getting more assists. Jalen Green's been struggling big time the last couple of weeks, so he's not taking a ton of usage, and that's kind of gone over to Kevin Porter and to Christian Wood and some of these other guys. And in close games, he's going to play mid-30s in minutes, gets you some peripherals with especially assists, scores the ball, takes a good amount of shots. I'm going to plug him in at point guard. Another guy right at $6,400 that looks good is Tyler Hero. Kyle Lowry is still out, and there's not Devin Booker. Jimmy Butler is questionable today with a toe injury, so if Butler is out and no Hero, then you're definitely going to want to fire up. If Butler's out and no Lowry, you're definitely going to want to fire up Tyler Hero. He looks good even if Butler is able to play, just because still no Kyle Lowry. Other guys would be Derek White, looks playable. Reggie Jackson without Morris, he was in foul trouble. Last game only played 19 minutes. And then if the Lakers are shorthanded, we'll have to hopefully get that news early in the day. It is 7:30 start. But Malik Monk would be a better play. Definitely if they're missing both Davis and LeBron, then you're going to be looking at like Westbrook, unfortunately. You're going to be looking at Monk, and definitely like Taylor Horton Tucker, some of these other guys that start. If the Pelicans are without their starters, they rested a bunch of guys, but especially if Ingram and Hart are out again, then Alexander Walker would be a very good play. And D'Angelo Russell went to the locker room, didn't return in the third. So if Beverly's able to play, he's going to start and play a ton of minutes. Or if Beverly is not able to play, then Jalen Noel would be a great play, and he would start in place of D'Angelo Russell. Over at shooting guard, not going to touch on some of the same guys that I've already mentioned, but looking at some of the guys that stick out to me would be in the mid-range a little bit, with like CJ McCollum looks appealing right at 73, going up against a terrible Houston defense. I like Tyler Hero at his price tag at 64. You have Norman Powell, looks good at 61 as well, with Portland not having Little now. just shorthanded a bit. If Covington is back, that would help them a little bit. But in the 5K range, you have Coffee, who's benefited big time without Morris, just playing heavy minutes, getting more shots off, and he's been super productive. So he looks great on FanDuel, but he still looks good on DraftKings. But the guy that I really like is Will Barton. He's only $5,500, had a couple of huge games, takes a lot of shots. It's basically him and Jokic taking a lot of usage and taking a lot of shots on the team. And he's been filling up the peripherals as well in close games. He can get anywhere up to like 36 to 38 minutes. And the price tag has gone down for some reason, even though he's playing very solid basketball as of late. Over at small forward, your pay-ups are maybe going to be LeBron if he's able to play. If he does play against Charlotte and there's no Davis, he looks great. Jimmy Butler, if he's able to play against a banged-up Clippers team, he looks good as well. But I like Anthony Edwards at 79. I'm assuming D'Angelo Russell is not going to play today. And if they don't have Russell, then Edwards will take a lot of usage. He will have the ball in his hands more, maybe, to look to his teammates to dish, but most likely to shoot the ball himself. And the price tag is not high enough if Russell's not able to play, and it's just Edwards and Cat commanding a lot of usage instead of Edwards, Cat, and Russell. You have other guys that look good in the mid-range at small forward, especially Norman Powell at 61. Bane looks playable at 61 as well. In the value range, Cam Johnson at 47 looks appealing just because he's super cheap. Still plays good minutes without Crowder and DeAndre Ayton. And then right at 4,000, you have Terrence Mann, who looks like a good value. He played 27 minutes, only put up 20 fantasy points, didn't really do anything peripheral-wise, but upside is there for him to play over 30 minutes without Morris. Price tag is really cheap. I think you can plug him in at power forward if you want to save some money. Speaking of power forward, Sabonis, if he's back, looks better, but we'll see. He's missed a handful of games at this point. Picks that look, guys that stick out to me would definitely be Jaren Jackson. I've been playing him and recommending him every single time he's in this price range, and he's done nothing but come through for the most part. Another monster game for him in terms of blocks with 6 more going up last game against San Antonio. Now he's going up against Utah, so it's tougher spot, but there's no Rudy Gobert, who's out already. Once again, so a lot easier for these Grizzlies guys to not only get their shots off, but on the other end to block some shots. Don't have to be worried about Gobert in the paint. So at this price tag, I definitely like Jaren Jackson. If you need a mid-range at power forward or even center, Wendell Carter is pretty affordable, going up against Detroit at only 67. You have Vanderbilt looks better at 53. You also have Cam Johnson at 47, who looks like a great value pick. And then, Carmelo, if he's going to play more if they don't have LeBron or Davis, looks like a great option. Over at center, you definitely can get up to Jokic every single slate. I like Jokic more than Giannis going up against the Knicks today. If Davis plays and there's no LeBron, then you can play Davis at 98. But I'm not convinced of that. Definitely like Christian Wood and Nurkic going back and forth. You can play at least one of them. And then for the mid-range, Whiteside's price tag went up a little bit, but he's still a viable option at 69. But I'm going to go with a guy that has been playing great, and price tag is really cheap, and that's Jakob Poeltl. They've been running some of their offensive sets through him. He's been, hopefully been able to stay on the court more with not getting into heavy foul trouble. It was 5 fouls last game, but going up against Vooch is not a great defender. I think Poeltl at home will be able to continue to have a lot of success. He's actually also improved his free throw shooting. 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 3 of 5 isn't sound great, but compared to where he was early in the season when he was shooting below 37%, definitely a big improvement. Get you a double-double, and the block shots are massive with him. So 64, if you wanted to go with the mid-range, I think Poeltl's my favorite. And then I would look to Biyombo at 58. Then I'd look to Hassan Whiteside. Those would be the couple of other guys that look appealing. And then in the 5K range, you could take a shot on like Vanderbilt or Mo Bamba, but Mo Bamba's would be the preferred option. 4K range, Zubats, Steven Adams, you can take shots with those guys. So definitely something scooped up since we have 19,000 left. So that would be awesome. But at the guard position, the guy that I will go ahead and try to pay up for, we have a couple of other options here, but maybe forward, I will go ahead and put in Norman Powell just because he's $6,100, and you can play my 2 spots. The price tag is good for him, He's a little bit cheaper than Simons, a little bit more cheaper than C.J. McCollum, and he has really shot the ball well this year, and he's going to continue to play big minutes. Only shot 5 of 17, but he got to the free throw line 12 times last game. Only made 7 of them as well, so he left a lot of points on the table last game, and I think going up against Houston, $200 less, he looks like a guy that you can't really pass up. Well, you can pass up, but somebody that I'm kind of looking to get to at least right now. So that's it for the DraftKings side. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, point guard plays. Continue to get a better price tag on like Trae Young. Ja Morant's still playable, but definitely Young at 91 looks appealing. I'd look to LaMelo Ball at only 86. If Mitchell plays, he's very cheap at 82. Westbrook, you have to keep an eye on him if there's no LeBron and or Davis. But you have a couple of guys that are cheaper that look appealing, like Cole Anthony at only 64, and I kind of like Kevin Porter on both sides at 62. Going further down, probably wouldn't look to Beverly at 56. Maybe look to like Jalen Noel, who's only 4K, 41 at least. So he looks better if there's no D'Angelo Russell, which definitely think is a reasonable assumption. Shooting guard, Devin Booker continues to just dominate this position. He looks better to me than SGA, similar to DeJounte Murray, but he's not even been getting that much ownership. Maybe it changes today, but just been taking so many shots and just been locked in right now. Other guys would be Edwards, LeVert, McCollum look good. I would rank it probably how I see it. Edwards favorite, then LeVert, then McCollum. Other guys would be definitely like Zach LaVine. Norman Powell's a little bit tougher to get to on FanDuel at 74, but LaVine at 75 looks like a great option. Cole Anthony looks appealing. Will Barton at 63. Some of the same guys that I mentioned over on DraftKings side. And then you even have like Josh Giddey at only 57. Looks like another guy that definitely you can try to get to. Small forward, definitely you can look to Giannis. He's only 11K, but in the mid-range, see if Ingram's able to play or not. If not, then that's going to affect the other guys. But I'm going to go ahead and put in Edwards at 8K, assuming that there's no Russell. Edwards will get more usage, more shots off for him, and he has shown a big upside as of late. Barton looks still appealing at 63, and then if you need to go further down, you're looking at like Terrence Mann, Cameron Johnson. Terrence Mann is only 44 or 45. Coffee would probably be my favorite at 47. I think Mann might be 42. Yeah, it's $4,200. He looks fine as well. Power forward, couple of spend-ups like Davis, Christian Wood would look pretty appealing. If you needed to go further down, Vanderbilt's priced up to 7K. You could look to some of these like backup centers that are priced down here in the 4K range, like PJ Washington at 48, or you can look to like $4,400 Jalen Smith backing up Biyombo right now without McGee. And then you could even look to like Jaden McDaniels at 39 and Sengun at 4K. But I'm going to go ahead and put in Christian Wood for right now at 83. And then last but not least at center, if you're not getting up to Jokic at 11.3, going in the mid-range, Jakob Poeltl is very tough to get to at 85 compared to a 64 on DraftKings. But you have some guys that are in like the 7K range like Valanciunas. Clint Capella's price tag has come way down. But I'm going to go ahead and put in Whiteside at 65. Just cheaper. You get those extra bonuses for blocks. You can rack up some against Memphis, hopefully. And I do have a good price tag on Mo Bamba if you want to take a shot with him, but feel fine with Whiteside for now. And that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will see you all next time.